As we prepare for our last number here, the ever-popular 1812 Overture, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage a former colleague and still a very good friend, and one of the people who was very instrumental in the designing and building of this auditorium, Miss Carol Clark.
Thank you very much. It certainly is a privilege to be here this evening in this beautiful performing hall. The orchestra decided that the right piece to really truly test the acoustics of this hall would be the wonderful 1812 Overture, which is one of the trademarks of the Boardman Orchestra to have performed this piece many times in national competition. And so we will conclude our part of the program by performing for you the wonderful 1812 Overture by Tchaikovsky.
Got a mic? There we go. Before we end tonight, I know it's been a long night, but before we end with our alma mater, in which we'll be joined by all of the participants in our programs tonight, I want to take this opportunity to thank those most directly responsible for tonight, in truth, generating the inspiration, the energy, the dedication, and the excellence that's truly brought this Performing Arts Center about. And we have with us tonight the directors emeritus of the Boardman Performing Arts programs, who for the past 30 or more years have established a standard of excellence in performing arts that has become legendary in our schools and in our community, against which all that follow are measured. And they deserve special recognition tonight, not just for their past work in building such great programs, but also for their central role in the fundraising campaign that made this dream a reality. From drama, my mentor and the mentor of thousands of kids who have gone on to fabulous careers, Mr. William Dykins. From the band, the founder of the Boardman Band, at least in modern times, and the inspiration to Miss Clark, Dick Bain. Dick? Also from the band, the man who took the band to Carnegie Hall and Pasadena and thousands of other venues, Mr. Tom Groth. And once again from the orchestra, the woman who put the Boardman Orchestra on the map and who brought them to national and international renown that they have so richly earned, Miss 1812 Overture herself, Carol Sue Clark. Thanks for all that you guys have done and all that you continue to do for the Boardman schools. Tonight really has been a remarkable night, the culmination of some remarkable efforts. And first and foremost, we need to recognize the present-day directors of the Boardman Performing Arts programs who have devoted their entire summer without pay to organizing and leading these alumni and community groups and turning them into the marvelous performances you have witnessed tonight. From the chorus, our elementary and middle school chorus staff, Dean Wilson, Linda Smrek, and Martha Popio, wherever you are. There's Linda. From our high school chorus staff, Emily Slavens, Linda Taylor, and the renowned Errol Kerberg, the heart of our choral program here, Director Emeritus of our choral program. From our marvelous orchestra, our high school orchestra director, Frank Dispenza, and his assistants, Michelle Berry, Mr. Ryan, our orchestra alumni, Rick Smrek, and of course, Miss Clark. And I don't know where she's at because she's wearing so many hats, but I think I maybe see her, I'm not sure where. Our high school play director, chorus singer and dancer, cheerleader advisor, and great math teacher, Mrs. Janine Hodge. There she is. She's on stage and backstage director. From our art department. They don't perform here on the stage, but they hang their wares in the lobby. And if those of you who drive around the Glenwood Avenue entrance, you'll see the most beautiful flags that typify and express the Boardman Performing Arts Center in art and music and drama. Mrs. Edie Davidson, who designed those beautiful flags. Edie, are you here? We also truly have many unsung heroes tonight, and forgive me if I leave some of them out. But the guiding light of our television studio, he's probably up hiding there in the back, but he'll be the one responsible for you seeing these marvelous performances tonight on Channel 19. The guiding light of our television studio, BCMS TV and Boardman School Update, Mr. Al Butcher, along with Joyce Mistovich and Bob Wright, our Director of Technology, right down front. Bob? The choreographer, house manager, light designer, overall jack of trades, Mr. Nick Opritza up there in the booth, I think. And Mr. DePritza was assisted by his son Nicholas, John Lute, Dave Reese, Matt Pajak, and Chris DiGregorio. Also, I believe, on costumes, helping with costumes, was Miss Jan Scaly, wherever she is. Finally, there is one other person that I want to recognize here tonight and give a special recognition to. I think that if we were giving naming rights to facilities in Boardman, this person would have this facility named after him. He has truly been the guiding light for Auditorium 2000. Without his vision, without his strategy, without his inclusive leadership style, we wouldn't be here tonight. And I would like to recognize and have the biggest applause of the evening for no one more deserving, the most humble man I know, and as dedicated a Boardmanite as you will ever find, Mr. Larry Saxton, our superintendent. And they also tell me that when I was listing, I said I probably would leave somebody out. They shouted to me that when I was listing the present-day band people, I didn't miss Mr. Jazz himself, Mr. Tom Ruggieri, our director of bands. And finally, if you have to give another thanks when you walk out of here tonight, and you see our custodians and our cleaning staff, you would not believe the hours that they have put in making this the spanking beautiful facility that we have here tonight. They have killed themselves, and they deserve, they are all deserving of our thanks. So please tip them a hat when you leave here tonight. And now, if you will please join Mr. Dispenza and all of our performers in closing the evening by joining with us in singing Boardman's alma mater. Mr. Dispenza, take it away.